AEW Revolution is tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Might as well get one video in regarding the big event. And that's supposed to be about the next major signing to AEW. The Hall of Fame worthy talent that Big Show, aka Paul Wight, just announced on AEW Dynamite. Speculation has run rampant, let's be real. Okay, so this is the thing that bugs me about this. So people are setting themselves probably for disaster because the signing has been described as Hall of Fame worthy. Tony Khan has said that this is one of his all-time favorites. He's watched him for a long time. I'm in a podcast, and the Hall of Fame worthy signing is a he. So we and fans wildly speculated, and WA and the WWE tribalists are hiding in wait. Like when we will strike with righteous anger, even though we're not righteous at all, and we're kind of fanatics because we can't be happy that our more promotions that are not WWE around. But yeah, this is and this is not even. I don't know if I can say this is AEW's fault fully because there are some wrestlers that are worthy of the Hall of Fame in any industry. This is the thing. People were all saying that this Hall of Fame caliber talent is probably a WWE guy, a former WWE wrestler. Some have been speculating it's RVD. Some have speculated it's wrestlers who are impossible to join with AEW for a variety of reasons. Some were saying it's Brock Lesnar because, hemorrhage money is clearly the best way to go. Others have suggested it's John Cena because, we gotta get that Hulk Hogan era in. So yeah, I mean, like that would be the ultimate power move by Bray Wyatt. He transformed John Cena into a corporate sellout, out to a independent wrestling guy. Oh man, yeah. Others suggested it's Kurt Angle, except it's not him because Kurt Angle's already in a Hall of Fame. He's in the WWE one, and he posted a teaser video hinting he's coming back, but we have no evidence to suggest it's AEW. There are rumors that The Rock is set to, it might be the guy, and I'm like, can we really be realistic here? Hollywood will not allow Rock to wrestle, especially in a company that has a barbed wire death match as the norm. But yeah, this is the thing. And then everyone said, well, maybe it's Christian, going back to being Christian Cage. And I was like, okay, it could be Christian, but he's also signed with WWE. However, Wrestling Inc. came out and reported that they were wrong. It's not. He's not signed with WWE. Turns out he was signed with Fox, and that deal might have expired already. So he could be the guy that comes to AEW, Christian Cage. The ultimate power move that Edge almost got. But we don't know. But yeah, he's one of the among many talents that are being brought up. Another name being brought up is CM Punk, and he's preemptively denied that when he did a Q&A session saying it's not him. Though, let's be real, the whole "it's not me" he is kind of out of the question because how many times did Edge say that? And we were ultimately proven right that, oh, it's Edge. And then you also got Batista, and he says and I believe he said he wanted to make retirement credible and whatnot in wrestling because retirement has zero credibility in the industry. Mick Foley is a prime example. So yeah, and some people thought, oh, maybe it's a Swerve, maybe it's a she, and it could be AJ Lee, and like, okay, that would be cool, but I don't know if she got me up for it. But to join AEW because I don't know. I kept thinking like it's hard to pick. Like I'm like part of me wants to hope it's CM Punk because he's like the last name I can think of that doesn't have Hollywood breathing down their necks, that's not contractually obligated by other companies, that is not WWE signed or affiliated with them to the extreme. Like CM Punk's probably the last guy I can think of at the top of my head. And I don't see Kurt Angle being a wrestler there. I do see him joining down the road as a trainer, probably, like so many other former wrestling talents from the other companies. But some say it might be Mark Henry. It's like, okay, Mark Henry's Hall of Fame worthy, but but it'd be a multi-year deal, and he's set to wrestle, it seems, and he wants that one last match in 6 months this year, so it can't be him. Like there's so many factors, and it's like people build up this idea that it could be the biggest star in wrestling, except how many Hall of Fame worthy talent have been there that never got the Hall of Fame worthy worthy detail. Like, and some people think it should be a guy that held the world title, and I'm like, Mr. Perfect never held the world title, sadly, because that's an injustice in and of itself. But yeah, there is like, so many sites have been speculating and debating about who could be this worthy talent. Some say it's RVD. He's kind of off the grid, and he's working with WWE on a documentary, so I think that's out of the question. So you have like AEW would have to like do something really big. Like, and some people think it doesn't have to necessarily be the WWE Hall of Fame. It could be other sports venues Hall of Fames, other events Hall of Fames. It could be another wrestling big gigs Hall of Fame. Except when you think of wrestling and Hall of Fame, you definitely are thinking the WWE one, and it's really hard to tell really who's the guy. I know for a fact it's not Kurt Angle, mostly because he is in the Hall of Fame, so it can't be him. I want to hope it's CM Punk, but at the same time, he probably is content being just done. Though when people say, "Well, CM Punk said he would never go back again and whatnot and never wrestle again," it's like, no. This is the thing. So he said he would never ever go back to WWE. He never said, "Never will I ever not go back to other wrestling companies if it ever came up to it." And CM Punk last we all remember he did have talks with AEW, but talks broke down because stupidly they sent him a contract via text. I don't. I'm confused about that still. Some people believe that CM Punk's been signed to AEW for some time and they just want to ride in the right moment to sign him, which, it's kind of insane when Winter is coming to be the event. But then they had Sting. But like I said, I kind of do want to hope it's CM Punk, mostly because of what he can bring, and plus I get my Kenny Omega CM Punk dream match since AJ Styles is a WWE lifer. Uh, but yeah, I've had some talks with some people. They think it might be Kurt Angle, but I said this: it's not him because he's Hall of Fame already, so it can't be. Because that kind of would disappoint. Because let's be real, this will ultimately I think it's gonna disappoint everybody in the end. I really think it's gonna disappoint everybody in the end. And if it's not like a Brock Lesnar type, a John Cena type, or a CM Punk type, I think it will disappoint people in the end. And because they overhyped themselves for it, like when you have the whole "it's The Rock," that's like, no. Like someone like if I was talking to someone and they said it's clearly gonna be The Rock, no. It's clearly John, no, because just shoot that idea down. Like, what if it's actually wait, that's actually stupid. That makes no sense. Like me and a bunch of people just agreed to just like not talk about it in the way that people want to talk about. Like like Christian is apparently is running free on the lam. Yeah. However, some people are like trying to downplay the whole if it's a if it's a Hall of Fame worthy talent that's joining AEW, they weren't worthy to begin with because the tribalists have to the WWE fanatics and tribalists have to defend the company because how dare AEW exist? Because how dare anyone else have the right to exist? When in reality, we should all be united in our common hatred for the future generation of tomorrow burning masks because they think COVID is a myth. I'm still pissed. So yeah, who could it be? Who could it be? I like I said, hoping it's CM Punk. Probably not. Batista. Yeah, I don't think so. He probably wants to stay retired. Plus, with all COVID running around, I'm pretty sure he's not that guy who wants to say, "I'm not doing that." So yeah. So Dave Meltzer did bring up the topic about Batista, adding that discussions were had between Batista and AEW over him possibly signing with the company. Whether or not those talks got anywhere remains to be seen. But Meltzer doubts that Batista will be the one that shows up in Jacksonville. And yeah, Batista was announced for the Hall of Fame in 2020 a year ago, but then COVID struck, and well, yeah, they can't really do that anymore. So Yeah, it could be Batista if it really came down to it, but like he's already set for Hall of Fame, and I know for a fact it's not Hulk Hogan because because he's banned from AEW because he's a racist. I would say also an apathetic, amoral jackass, but you know we can't have all victories here. Even though I'm pretty sure him being racist is nothing compared to his everyone's a crybaby in Florida over a hurricane disaster. Oh, forgotten Hulk. So yeah, who do you think it could be? Comment down below. I really want to hear this. Who do you think it could be? Is it Cena? I'll say no instantly. Is it The Rock? No. Is it Austin? Like everyone kept saying it was Stone Cold because some people were saying it was Stone Cold, and I was like, yeah, I don't think Stone Cold wants to do it. If he said the only match if he ever came back would probably be against CM Punk, they missed the boat on that. They were doing a plan. I was hearing that there was a plan apparently once upon a time to do CM Punk versus Stone Cold, which is why they had this filmed edit where they were going to have CM Punk and Stone Cold's entrances mirror each other, where CM Punk's making his grand entrance at WrestleMania and they have the camera on his back. They were going to do that, but then like the match didn't happen, sadly. So they missed the boat on that. But like they did say that the person who's joining AEW is not related to the ladder match, so it could be. So the ladder match could be anyone. I said on the HEW View Talk that maybe it could be maybe it's a New Japan Pro Wrestling Bullet Club member because they need to fill out that narrative. They could have Impact and NWA involved. What if it's Nick Aldis? Though he's the NWA World Champion, so I'm pretty sure he wouldn't go for it. He could be a Four Horsemen, maybe. Uh, I also said like they said Britt Baker could probably not be Britt Baker's partner Rebel probably isn't in a match because she could be out of action for it, and Britt Baker could find a replacement. And if they do it, they could have Zelina Vega show up. Let's be real, Zelina is definitely solely needed somewhere. I refuse to keep watching her on Twitch when she's running away. So 90 Day No Compete is over, damn it. Others think another female wrestler that could show up is Tessa Blanchard. And I'm like, I'm not doubting her talent, but I've said this before in Twitter and in some other videos. They have to put a special contract on her, like one restriction. She screws up once and she's out. Especially if her father vouches for her, because that means that his ass would be on the line too, probably according to AEW management, or according to fan bases. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see that tonight. Like everyone's hyped up for this, but probably overhyping it way to the extreme. So we'll have to see. I'm hoping for a great show nonetheless. And some person pointed out how there's so much gimmick stuff going on in there, and I'm like just saying it's more extreme than WWE's Extreme Rules have been in the last few years. So yeah, we'll have to see who's the surprise Hall of Fame worthy signee. It's gonna probably be insane. Hopefully, it's probably gonna blow up the internet, and probably for good or bad. So we'll have to see. This was Neo Reality Entertainment presenting the WrestleVerse, the AEW surprise. Peace. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my content in the description below. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see you all next time. Peace and take care.